Namaskar, you're watching Guff-Gaaf Unfiltered with Sudesh Gurung, where we have real conversation, real stories, and no filter. I'm trying to bring ordinary people's extraordinary stories for you. Now, let's get into today's Guff-Gaaf. We meet a lot of people in our life, and we have our relationship. Is the relationship only about love, or there's something deep into it? A lot of spiritual leaders says we meet people not randomly. It's the journey of our soul. So to talk about spirituality, I have invited a special guest today, a couple who has been in spiritual journey quite a long time now. So welcome Kedarji and welcome Kimberly to my show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sudesh, and namaste. Thank you for this opportunity to share our journey with you today.
And welcome back. I'll say welcome back to
Absolutely.
you, right? And then welcome for the first time. He was the first one to come in the show where we talk about spirituality. And I had so long, waiting for someone to come and talk about it because I can't talk to anybody else about spirituality, okay? I don't know, somehow today I'm feeling to set up the tone. If you can set up the tone for 2 minutes, mindfulness, then we'll talk about it.
Sure, we can have like an Om chant for a few minutes and start with that. Like
Okay.
A minute or so. Okay.
So guide us.
When we chant the sound Om, let's focus our energy inward into the depth of our being, integrating into our relaxing breathing in and out. The most vital energy of our existence, breathing, the prana we call it. That's the most vital energy of existence of our life, of everything living in this existence. Let's take a few moments in silence with deep breathing in and out.
And we can also use tools such as the singing bowl to calm us, to regulate our system.
Anything that helps us to focus inwards from our everyday external distraction, divided attention. It helps any instrument, any tool we can use, singing bowl, your thought process, mantras, focusing on something, anything. There is no one magic tool. Just need to distract ourselves from external, try to get inwards. That's the main thing.
Thank you very much for setting the tone. I felt very, very calm.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions. Before I jump into that, I wanted to quickly get to know both of you. How did you guys met, and how long you've been together as a couple?
Okay, so when I finished university here in Canada, an undergrad in psychology, I wanted to do some traveling and some working at the same time to get some more experience before I jump into a long-term career or go into a master's program. I just wanted to get some experience. So I looked up possibilities, and I saw that teaching English, ESL, was a great opportunity. So I applied to several different countries, but one that stood out to me was Thailand. It looked very beautiful. There was a lot of teaching opportunities there. So I went, and he was already there teaching English at the school that I went to, the first school. So within a couple of weeks of being in Thailand, I met him. at the school. He was a teacher who had already been teaching there, and he kind of was in charge of showing me the ropes of how everything works within the school.
Yeah.
And we just clicked, and we started off as friends, going out together and talking in depth about many topics. And I had never met someone from Nepal before, so I was very fascinated with his perspectives and his experience. Yeah, and I'll let him continue from here.
Yeah, I was supposed to show her around and fresh in teaching, no prior experience in teaching. I have been teaching for a while back in Nepal and China, and in that school for last 6 months before she joined me. And then I have been showing her around rest of the life.
Yeah. Nice.
That's how it started.
So how long it's been now?
2009, so it's been 16 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wow, nice, okay.
And married for 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And last time we talked about his spiritual journey, okay? And when you met, was the spirituality the main theme, the topic that you discussed that time?
For me, no. He was kind of my introduction. He had me watch YouTube videos of Osho, Sadhguru, amongst others. And I was very interested, very curious about this world because I'd never been introduced to it before. I did grow up Catholic, so I just had that background. But learning like some bits of Hinduism and also living in Thailand, learning about Buddhism, I just had a natural inclination and curiosity about all of this.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say honestly that my husband is my spiritual teacher, and that since I've met him, I have been on this journey with him.
Yeah.
And I feel like recently we're finally able to really talk and understand each other spiritually at a depth that we never have before.
Oh, okay.
So it's very exciting, and I'm very glad to be here talking about this topic with both of you today. Yeah.
Interesting.
For me personally, we talked about it before as well. It felt pretty natural for me.
Yeah.
The difference is when you know something, when you understand in something in certain ways, you think everybody would understand the same way.
Yeah.
But seeing that difference is, no, not everybody thinks the way I think. So this is the new new learning for me, new understanding for me, that not everybody sees or understand the way things you understand. So it's not so common for everyone.
Makes sense.
That's the new realization for me.
Okay. Having a partner who's equally spiritually inclined, right, or in the process of being spiritual, helps each other. Like you're actually sharing that energy to each other. Sadhguru says many times that when he was in that journey, his wife was more spiritual and how it helped him, right? And eventually his wife got samadhi, and he said that energy actually elevated his spiritual journey, right? So do you think that's something that you believe in, that because of how spiritual you are each other, it's like you're feeding to each other and you're getting elevating more and more?
I'll start with that. First of all, it was challenging in the beginning. Like some of the stuff I wanted to talk about in depth wasn't really easy. But I think that's what I come in helpful, right? Like so I didn't try to force or anything. I let it go naturally how it goes.
Yeah.
And then like she explained, it's been recently that we are able to talk in depth about spirituality, right? What does that mean is, like, before I would start something and then she would say, yes, I understand and stuff like that. But now she really does understand and we can get into it in depth, right? That's we're helping each other. That's how I think I come helpful and handy there. Another thing in journey, in the start of this podcast, you said something about how we meet and whether it is fate or whether it is we think. How we met is also very mysterious in a way.
Yeah.
That I think we don't actually decide who we meet, and through our rational mind and rational calculation. I think it's something beyond our rational mind and thought that plays a role. And how I can give example about it, like if we think about making decisions sometimes, and then if we go past and look at our own decision, how did I make that decision?
Yeah.
Who make me think the way I think? And what is in play to influence that I made so and so decision? And when I think about it, that's not my rational mind. Something was making me make that decision. So all I can think of is it's like a divine intervention. So starts from there. So we are helping each other in our journey. It's not like I am the guru or she is the guru. We are helping each other to grow in our life.
Yeah.
Because she needed to be there for me to grow as well at the same time.
The unique way that we challenge each other leads to optimal growth within each other. I 100% believe in fate. There were so many instances and times where we could have not been together anymore. Like so many challenges and ups and downs.
Yeah.
But through it all, you know, there was this feeling of this is really honestly meant to be. Like we're meant to do this journey together. And that's a very strong sense that we have within our relationship.
So let's say if you were early in the spiritual journey, you are seeking about who you are, how you make the decision, your soul's journey too, right? And if Kim wasn't in that journey, like was it aligning before that? Like you said, it was a little bit tough, but was it aligning that I met her because it was meant to be, or just like you're in the physical world and you just coincidentally met?
And my new realization is when you understand and see the things the way you see it, you feel like that's a basic and common sense and general understanding. But it's not, because it's for you, right? Not for people around you. So that's the biggest realization I came to realize later, but not in the beginning of our relationship, right? I would say things and then I would say from my own understanding, and I would believe that everyone understand the way I understand it. But no. People hear words, they think they understand, but they don't, because it's different. It's a little bit difficult to explain into words, but you know what I mean?
From your own perspective, your
Yeah.
upbringing, your experiences, everything is filtered. Yeah.
Like, and also cultural differences comes in play, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, we grew up in Nepal, and then if we go to temple and start praying and start ringing the bell, how does that feel to you versus who has never seen temple, never seen bell, just looking at the temple ringing bell doesn't feel the same way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and when I say or try to explain something, I feel different, but it doesn't mean everyone else is feeling the same way. But recently, we have been able to connect to that depth.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
And also, related to what he's talking about, I'd have so many questions for him. If we go to a temple, ring a bell, I think, incessantly ask him, okay, what's this? What's that for? What's the meaning behind that? Why are people doing that? What's their belief? And so I think I had to make him honestly go inward as well and question everything that he's grown up with or take, as tradition and ritual, and really find the meaning as deep as he can and explain it to me as best he can so that I can try to understand as well.
Right. Yeah, makes sense totally. Like I finished reading the autobiography of a yogi, the book, and now I'm reading The Divine Romance by the Yogananda as well. What surprised me was he's a yogi, right, from India. So I was expecting he's going to talk about Hinduism, Buddhism, and every couple of pages he's talking about Jesus. And Krishna, and then but Jesus comes again and again, and I was like, what's going on? Like he's talking about Jesus too. So is there anything that surprised you in the spiritual journey? What's like shocking for you?
Growing up Hindu, studying Mahabharata, Gita, Krishna Charitra, and all that, and understanding Hinduism the way we understand, and then later in my life, like in young age, after that, jumping into Christianity for about like 5 to 7 years, going to church, going to Bible school for 3 years, And after that, moving around the world, exposed with Buddhism, and having opportunity to talk to a lot of monks from Nepal, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Laos, and also being exposed to other religious practices like Islam, and so many very close friends from Middle East, and I went into depth in talk about their belief and where that come from, what they think. I came to realize we are all talking about the same thing. It doesn't matter we talk about Krishna or Shiva or Ganesh or Jesus or Muhammad or anything. It's everybody is talking about the same thing, and that's my realization. And I was amazed by that actually. How similar all the teachings are, and we are pointing towards the exact same thing.
Same thing, right.
We really do all come from one source, right? We're all expressions of that one source. And that's why everything makes sense. That it's all pointing to simple, simple or complex, depending how you look at it, truths of our existence here. And I think all of these individuals like Buddha and Jesus, Muhammad, like these people were of a greater understanding of these truths of our reality. And all of them were giving the message in a way that the people of that time and that region and that life circumstance could relate to. So yeah, I agree that we see the connections between all of these individuals.
Yeah. Don't you think it's confusing though? Let's say a kid, right, is trying to be spiritual or trying to learn about it. Some people will say, just focus on one thing, go deep on it, have faith, you'll have spiritual awakening. Then all these figures now from different religion, if we look at the religion itself, is very differentiated. This is my religion, this is my religion. But spirituality, we're focusing on what they're trying to say, right? So do you think it is confusing for someone?
Confusion is a really good thing. If we are not confused, we don't understand anything. If we give something like a clear, straightforward answer, there is actually no understanding there. Confusing makes you actually understand for what it is, right? If we look at the learning patterns and education system, how we start teaching them from a very little thing, right? Even if we look at the structure of a Lego, we start putting one and then that becomes a house or a temple. Like the foundation is very important. Similarly, in spirituality, you have to be confused in order to actually understand something into depth. So I don't think the confusion part is the problem. You have to first get confused, and then you get the insight.
Anything to add, Kimberly?
When you get spiritual, you can kind of see the bigger picture, the laws of this universe, like, for example, duality, laws of attraction, that are a truth in this reality. And you can start to come to see different religions or perspectives or leaders as they're all just tools, right? Different paths that you can take that all lead to these truths, just said in different words and practiced in different ways.
It's like we have a story about 5 blind people experiencing an elephant, right?
Yeah.
You have heard that story?
Yeah.
One touches the leg, and then I heard a lot about elephant. It's like a pole. It's like a pillar. Another touches the ear. It's like a fluffy something, right? Another touches the tail. It's like something hanging up. Like we experience different thing, but the whole thing. It's the thing, right? Like, and then when you open your eyes, wow, the elephant. It's just like your questions about being confused is like we focus on little things, but in order to understand the whole thing, you also have to understand little thing. After you understand little thing and being confused, you are able to actually understand the whole thing. That's what oneness is. Like we can come from many belief and religious background, and then when you have the insight of that, it's really easier to understand the bigger picture, where we came from and where we're going at the end.
Right. So where we came from, that question, right, is very deep. And the Yogananda said, you have to be in that spiritual level where you can actually know past life. And he can actually say, past life, I was an Englishman. And and I was like, whoa, like, how did he know, right? So for us, who's practicing, Is that something that we should strive for, or do we actually know, or we have to be like Yogananda to know where we come from or where we're gonna go?
I think we all have potential to do it. We all have potential to know what we were, past life, present life, future life. It's just depend like how far you want to go and what you want to do with the information. Like what you're gonna do when you know it. I think basically that's what is important part of it. And to touch upon a little bit about different belief system, different God and confusing, I want to add a little bit here.
Yeah.
We as a human being, we are visual being, right? We like to see things, we want to experience things, then only we are triggered, right? So we all come from one awareness, consciousness. We don't become conscious. We are the product of the consciousness. We come out of the consciousness, awareness. When we say that, how does that work? Like, and then again, going back to your questions, where do we come from? We came from awareness. We came to living being on this 3D from consciousness, from awareness. And why those different things, different prophets or different gods, symbols, like I said, we are visual being. We like to see, we like to touch. And for that, consciousness understand the human brain. And then in order for us to understand better, based on our belief system, human belief system, physical location, what we are familiar with, different kinds of messages came into Earth, into existence, in different time, in different physical location. For the people, and it would be easier for them to understand. Like for us, like Krishna, our Shiva, our Ganesh, like physical location, familiar with, and what kind of message and archetypical stories we are familiar with, came to teach us, right? Similarly in Middle East, similarly in other part of the world, that according to our time, like 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, what was the relevant for us to be more spiritual? That we actually understand at that time, at that age, with that physical location. But everything actually came from the same source. If we are able to see that, then it becomes more clear. It becomes less confusing. Because what we see, the image of Jesus, or Krishna, or Buddha, or Shiva, it's just the external image to reflect you what would be comfortable with you, right? But the message is the same. The core thing is the same.
I have something to say in response to your question about where we come from and who we are, and about past lives. So I believe that everything that is happening, that has happened, that will happen, there's actually no such thing as time. Like, we're just experiencing time in this 3D realm. This is something that we chose to do when we came here. But everything is actually happening all at once. And we're able to tap into that information, past, present, future, because it's all occurring simultaneously. And sometimes it's referred to as like the Akashic records. People might have different names for it. In the collective consciousness that we exist within. So at any point, we can, through our own devices or through the help of others, like past life regressionists, we can tune into that information about those aspects of soul that are currently related to what we're currently experiencing, that might be relevant to us and might help us on this journey that we're currently experiencing. And then also one thing that Kedar said is a realization I came to recently is like the body is within the soul. The soul is not within the body. The oversoul has many layers to it, and this body is just a very small percentage of that, and we are kind of just zoomed in experiencing this at this time.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. In reincarnation, that thing fascinates me every time. And I listen to a lot of Buddhist podcasts too, and then there's one guy, Palgar Rinpoche, he always talks about his previous incarnation. He actually used to see dreams, or he used to visualize how he was killed in past life, right? How does he know the past life, right? And Yogananda also says, how does a kid born like 2 years ago start playing piano, without teaching. It's from past life, right? So what do you think about that? Like, do you think about reincarnation in your life?
I like what just Kimberly said. It's just the way we explain and try to understand reincarnation. It's actually the same thing we are experiencing in different dimension, right? We can tap into that aspects of our life. We call it past, but it's not the past, because when we go into oneness, when we expand our awareness, it's timeless and spaceless, right? It's just timelessness and spacelessness. So what does that mean is there is no beginning and end. Everything is happening simultaneously at the same time. We are just differencing this 3D in the very small time frame we have actually created for the existence of ourselves in this 3D world.
For an experience.
For the experience
It's a game, yeah.
of the 3D physical being. But our existence is a lot more beyond that. So that's what is past life and future life. And it's easier to understand if we say past and future, but actually everything is happening right now, right at the same time, into different dimension. Like we, three of us, are into different dimension at the same time, because there is no such thing as a time when we think of like different dimensions.
Because we think
Like-
time as a linear, usually, right?
Yeah, and this is if we really think about it, we have the experience and data that if we go to the space just a little bit further than the Earth into the vast cosmos, our aging differs, right? We have that experience.
Yeah.
So this is birth, death, age, time is only constructed for the existence of 3D on Earth in this realm of life. So when we expand our horizon, there is no such thing as the past and future. So it's actually not reincarnation. You're just same awareness continuously, eternally living life. That's what soul is actually.
And it's difficult from our ego perspective because we all want to feel like we are an individual, right? We are a person. And that is true. But what is also true is that we are part of a larger oversoul.
Yeah.
How to put into words. Sometimes these concepts are difficult to...
Once again, we can give some examples to understand it. One of the best example I always share with is the ocean and the drop of the water, right? The drop of the water is a drop of water, an individual thing itself. It also goes into the ocean. It's a part of the ocean. You cannot separate drop of water from the ocean. It's also the ocean, it's also drop of the water, right? It's all part of it. Similarly, the rays of the sun. Like a rays of the sun comes into this room through window. It's a ray, one ray of sun, right? But it also comes from the same sun everywhere in the entire world, right? So it's same thing. We are, as an individual, is the ray of sun of awareness, of consciousness. We are experiencing individuality for the short period of time, but when you expand our horizon and awareness, we are the same thing. You are me, I am you. Buddha has said it. If you hurt me, you hurt yourself. We are the same.
That reminds me one of the saying by, there's a Premanand Maharaj in India, and he said about deja vu. You call it deja vu, but it's actually happening in another realm right now.
It relates to what we just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, what's really exciting about this is when you have a higher understanding of how this all works, you can actually choose the reality you're living in. Through your thoughts, through your actions, through your intentions, you can choose the path that you desire. If I could get into it a little bit personally,
Sure.
Recently I was diagnosed with cancer. And at first, it's a type of small bowel cancer that has spread. And at first, the doctors told me from their genetic testing that the medicine they have available, they don't think is going to work for me. So I went through 3 months of basically living side by side with death, okay? Thinking this was it. But in that time, I decided to do everything I could within my power to change my reality. I was journaling every day, meditating for hours, and praying for hours, setting my mind and body and intentions onto the reality that no, there is medicine for me, and yes, I will conquer this. I will beat this. And I did this for 3 months. I was journaling every day, writing, the medicine works for me. I will be rid of this disease within this certain time frame. It will all work out. I will learn from this, and I will become a stronger and better individual through this challenge.
And it's here to teach me.
And after that 3-month mark, I had my first scan, and miraculously, the tumors are shrinking. Unexpectedly, they're shrinking.
Yeah.
So the doctors don't even know why. They can't put me in their boxes or their charts or their graphs or their predictions. So they don't know what's going on. But let's just say the medicine is working. And I do believe that I chose this reality. Despite, what was physically being presented to me, which was terrifying, I decided, it's now or never, it's all or nothing. I'm going to put these spiritual principles to work, to test them, to see what I can create in my reality. So this is kind of a little bit branching off from what we were talking about, but still related. That we are existing in many different dimensions with many different realities at the same time. And kind of like tuning to a radio station, we can choose which one we want to land on and live. So currently things are going well for me. Everything is heading in the right direction in my health. And I believe that this was a conscious decision that I made.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And so you're feeling better now, right?
I feel like there's nothing wrong with me.
Wow. Okay. Okay. It's not easy, right? Especially we look at the doctors as okay, they are the authority figure. Whatever they say, they're right. And I had a doctor in my show as well. But to move away, okay, it's there, but move away from there and then leaning towards spirituality, doing those practices, and miracles happening. I want to know a little bit more. How does that happen? What's the energy behind it?
So when I was in my darkest moments, I turned to every God and every being and every divine and every ancestor that I could think of. I was praying to all the gods. I was praying to all those my deceased relatives and asking for their guidance. I was asking for healing angels. I grew up with angels, and I do believe they're by my side. And I would go into deep meditations where I would lose myself for some time because I had read the books by Joe Dispenza, which were very powerful for me and really helped me in this situation. To realize that, in the conscious realm, our soul, it knows everything and it knows how to fix and heal everything. And if we can tune into that energy, I kind of imagine it as divine light flowing through my body. I'm breathing it in. It's going into every cell of my body and healing me and returning me to a state of equilibrium. I would imagine this over and over, many hours a day. In the beginning, it was all I could do because I was bedridden when I was first diagnosed. So I was lying down in meditation and prayer. And when I would get into a certain state, I would feel like I was receiving intuitive download messages, and these were very calming and very positive, don't worry. I had to surrender, right? My ego had to surrender. And when I was able to surrender, I was able to hear these messages everything's going to work out, everything's going to be fine, even if you don't see it in your physical reality at this time. The plan is set in motion. Let's say, use the word God is working behind the scenes to make everything align. To work out in your favor. So I just stuck to this, and I would feel sensations in my body as if, there are beings present with me. I could feel them working within me. It comes as goosebumps. It comes as electric shock through the body, as chills. It comes as emotion, outpouring of tears. I experienced this in many different forms physically. And that's the only thing that really brought me peace when I was in the darkest times.
Wow.
And guided me through this to where I am right now.
And how was it for you to be in there, be with her in that situation? What were you thinking? What was your response? How was your experience?
Externally, it was a difficult time, but like she said, I turn into spirituality more and more, deeper and deeper. And my belief is everything happens for a reason, and there is nothing I personally can do other than surrender myself and let the higher self guide it and do its job. And I was on her side, helping her, listening to her, reading her journals, letting her share what her experience is, what she's going through it, and giving my unbiased inputs and belief, and went through that. And also helped me to grow more into spirituality, to let go ego, let go the control that we control everything, that kind of mentality, because it's not up to us. And surrendering, that helps. That really helped me. And I think, both grew more and more deeper into spirituality through this. And this came to teach us lesson.
Right.
Innumerable lessons, but one of the largest ones is to trust. Trust that everything is as it should be, and it will work out.
And also seeing death for what it is when it comes to you or your near and dear one, loved one, and what it is if other people we know, and generally how many people they be born and they die every day basis, and what is it to it involves you and your near and dear and your family, and what it is. It helps us to go even deeper about that. And my understanding about death becomes more deeper.
Joe Dispenso, this guy.
Yeah.
So I heard his podcast, right? And
Yeah.
he has these retreats.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, after the retreats, people are shrinking their cancer. The cold cancer is gone. All the trauma, childhood trauma is gone. They don't need counseling. With a week of retreat, changed all those things. And I was like, okay, what is this guy saying? At the end, his main theme was meditation. So what they do at retreat, meditation, right? And I was like, okay, now it kind of makes sense.
Right.
Okay, but tell me what happens, like, if people want to see scientifically, like, okay, he went to retreat, meditated for a week, cancer is like shrinking. But what's happening physically? How does meditation helps with it?
One thing that fascinates his teaching, I learned about him, I started listening to him about 5-6 years ago. The first time I heard something he shared, I was like, wow, and many wows. Like, I have always been believing it. It's like somebody explain it in a simpler and easier way that I have been understanding and believing my whole life. And then imagine that feeling, right? Listening to someone. It's like, and then we have very interesting incident about that. Like, I was listening to him and then I was sharing with her. And then 5 years, 6 years later, now she is the one sharing with me now. Remember you used to, I know. You know what I mean? Like, we're catching up on each other. Like, and then one thing that fascinates me about, he scientifically presents what's happening in the body, right?
And
in
brain,
his lab.
especially.
That's what is so much, so powerful and so fascinating to me. And I think what exactly happens is this body is such a complicated or sophisticated, it's like such an amazing mechanism, right? We really don't understand everything about it. That's my belief.
Yeah.
Like, we only understand bits and pieces of it. And we have divided into like eye specialist, ear specialist, heart specialist, got so many branches. But it's one mechanism, affects everything.
Yeah.
We cannot separate it from one and another. Like, it's the whole thing. And that's not just this physical body, it's correlation with our environment, our food, where we grew up, where we were born, and who we interact with, what kind of energy we put around us.
The emotions we're holding.
But we're trying to separate it like a separate, like eyes and ears and mouth and gut and heart. It's like, no, it's a combine everything. And then when you unlearn and and detach yourself from all these external noises, and then let this body be in peace. Let this body and mind, this divine temple, be in peace. It knows exactly what to do. It start working on behalf of us, for us. But what we are doing is we're interfering with all the noises externally, and it doesn't get to do its work. In meditation, we shut down everything. We become in peace. We become one with our body, and it actually start working for us. That's what exactly happens in my understanding. So many examples there, right?
And, you know, religiously, Christianity says Jesus is the healer. You can frame it in this way. You know, Jesus is healing you. The creator of all knows how to fix and make back to a healthy state everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing beyond the creator's reach. Yeah.
Like the river, it flows, right? And then if we try to interfere with it, if we try to block it, it builds up and causes landslide. And we try to reopen it, it causes floods and everything. So it's just like that. If we let our body flow in a natural way, it heals everything. It's like it goes to the natural default state, right? So that's what I think meditation does.
One of my friend who does the breathing coach as well, he also said that when you meditate and if you have an injury, right, like an ankle injury, when you meditate and put your all attention to the ankle, the blood flow, the oxygen goes there.
Exactly.
So I would think like the body is working itself, but like through meditation, we're actually putting our body into work.
We are setting our intention to. In recent years, what I understand about medication and our body, like I said, we don't understand a lot of it, but our body has the mechanism to produce all kind of chemicals, right? We take medication. Medication actually triggers to create certain chemicals into certain part of the body, but the body is the one doing the work.
Yeah.
Without an external help, we could actually let the body heal with the intention, like you just said. We put the intention and focus to certain area. It draws the attention, it draws the blood flow, it draws the oxygen in their body, and then it heals. Medication does the same thing. It just does an external interfere. Yeah. Like it triggers certain way. So that's what is made like.
And also we believe the medication's working, and that's why it does as well. The placebo effect.
Yeah.
And just one thing I wanted to add when you talk about talking to a different body, I did that as well. Like you realize that you are governing your body. Your higher self has control. So you can talk to your body, you can talk to your organs, you can talk to something like a disease and tell it, thank you for coming, for what you have taught me, and you have fulfilled your role, and now it's time to go. I practice this as well, talking to my body, my organs. Yeah.
Shamanism does that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you go into certain state of being, and then you talk to body, right? You talk to disease, like you tell, okay, you don't have to be here anymore. You can get out of our body. I command you, or, like either way, like whatever the word we use. We do that practices in shamanism. Do you know that?
And from a different cultural perspective, you might see it as like an evil being or spirit or force that you're commanding to leave the body, right?
Ancestors. So I had one of the shaman on my show as well, and I was pretty familiar with that back home. So I would get sick, and then my father would invite someone, and then he will do his practices, chantings, and he will say, your ancestors were, not satisfied, so we'll just sacrifice a chicken. A chicken will be thrown outside, and then I feel better.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. And like scientifically, what's happening there? But like the belief, the faith.
You set the intention.
You
set the intention, and those practices, like you said, like chicken and egg and stuff, those are all archetypical images. Like they help you set the tone, right? But what exactly it does is your intention and what you wish to do.
Yeah.
What do you wish to happen to your body? That intention is the one it's working.
Ah.
But we need a trigger. We
The
need like
chicken's
an
a tool.
tool.
It's a tool.
Yeah. Also
Yeah.
the rice, you play with
Yes,
rice and
rice,
then
yeah.
you eat this, put it in your inside the
Exactly.
pillow. You sleep.
Yes.
Next day, you're
It's
energized.
these are all the tools.
Ah.
We need to understand that.
But the power is ourselves.
Yeah.
It's within
It's
ourselves.
wh-
And the
what-
external tool is not as important.
Yeah.
That's why recently a lot of people say start wearing certain things, going to certain temple. Like a lot of those, they're rigid and they follow like a strict. For me personally, you can use anything. It could be confusing, but these are all the tools. Like whatever is convenient for you, you can pick, choose. There are thousands of tools you can use.
Talking about the tools, I had one of the guests, Seema Pokhrel. She was a singer. Now she's a devotional singer. At the end of the podcast, she gave me a bracelet made of pearl crystals or pearl something, and she said, "Wear this. It gives the energy, right? If you have good intention, it really helps you enhance your practice." So I've been using it. So is that some of the example that we're using tools like crystals, some the medicine bowl, the malas? How does it help us with our practices?
We are made of all those materials, right? Our body has everything that has an external life, like stone, rock, water, flesh, cells, everything that exists in the existence, we also have in our body. So we interact with all those elements all the time. How does that help? Is like I said, they are all tools. They all help. How does the rock formation happen? Where does the rock come from? Years and years of heat and cold and undergrounds and the kind of energy
Pressure.
it holds, right? Kind of pressure it holds.
Yeah.
What is metal? Why some metal become precious? The way they are formatted, the way they withstand the heat and cold, right? So there is intense energy in everything we interact in our everyday life. Then we believe, then we give power to it, and it works on behalf of us. That's how I can simply explain it.
It all
how
boils
it-
down to the belief that we hold.
Yeah,
that-
we
that-
give
yeah.
power to it.
Does it have to be something precious though? Like, can we give power to something like, let's say, like a microphone?
I would say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be anything that's specific, but I will add certain elements, certain chemicals, certain minerals hold higher power or more
Their vibrational level.
more
Yeah.
vibrational energy than other. But anything can be used as a tool. The reason we use gold, metals, copper, it holds higher power. It influences energetic field more than other metals. That's why we give more importance to it.
Right.
So if we think about vibrations, for example, in order to heal, you should be in a healing vibration. And we can get ourselves there through meditation, through being in contact with other people or objects of a higher vibration. It helps us because we are constantly fluctuating in our vibrational level, like where we are throughout the day.
Yeah.
And at these moments when we take the time to sit and meditate or sit and pray or whatever the ritual is we're doing, it kind of just, gets us there. It gets us where we need to be to have the strongest flow of life force energy, of light coming through our body, our chakras, puts us in a state.
Right. Okay. Next topic that I wanted to talk about was death, the thinking about death, right? And I don't know who said it, but it was Sadhguru or somebody said, like, people think other people die. Like, they don't think they die, you know?
This is Osho. I just read his book
also?
about death.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, people think, like, when we talk about death, it's like, other people die. So we don't really think about ourselves, right? Everyone dies. So that's something that's certain, but we don't talk about it. Why do you think, like, we hesitate so much to talk about that? Is it the fear, or what's happening in our soul journey?
First of all, let's talk about death, and then let's connect fear.
Yeah.
Death and fear. We are actually not scared of death.
Death is not real.
I just want to explain a little more the
Sure.
fear and death, right?
Sure.
We are actually not scared of death. What we are scared is the attachment. We are scared of actually living than death, if we really think about it. After death, you don't have to feel anything. You don't have to do anything. All the responsibilities, physical body, all vanish, right? So it's actually very much liberating if you really think about it. What we are really scared of is what comes with it. Like we are attached to our loved ones. We are attached to our belongings. We are attached to our name and fame. We are attached to everything that has to do externally. And then we think we're going to lose it. Death means we're going to lose connection to our loved ones. We're going to lose my property, my belongings, everything. I'm not going to see this person ever again. I'm not going to see my kids, my wife. This is what we are scared of. Once again, I'm going to rephrase it. We are actually not scared of death. Death is not scary, and we're not actually scared. We are scared of losing things. So, and how can we not scared of it is we are not losing anything. We are scared of losing things, but we are not. Everything we ever accumulated, our experience, our wealth, our feelings, our emotion will go with it. We don't have to actually
In the
lose
transition.
anything. That knowledge and that understanding will help you to view death differently. We are coming to this 3D world, this physical body, to experience things in more a definite way, more like feel, touch, see everything in this physical world, right? So it's a narrow window. That's why we call it life is short, life is short. And we also call it other side of the world, right? We also say your transition, I hope your transition be smooth. See you in the other side of the ocean. Like we use a lot of if we really think of, what are we actually talking about? What does that mean? Even in our cultural and language and practices, what are some of the common phrases and words we use when somebody dies? Give me some examples. What do we use, say in languages, in Nepali or other languages?
When someone dies?
Yeah, what do we say?
Hardik Shraddhanjali.
No, what happened to him?
Oh,
Passed away.
passed away,
Right?
yeah.
And then,
Then we call it body.
yes, like passed away or went somewhere. Like there are certain words.
They are gone.
Like in if I have to use Nepali words,
Yeah.
bitnu bhayo,
Bitnu,
janu bhayo, mathi janu bhayo. What does that mean? Have you ever heard mathi janu bhayo?
Yeah.
Went up in translation. What happened? He just went up. Do you really think about it? Like
Yeah.
we use those words and just think about the words, right? He transitioned. That's what we use word, right? He transitioned. He went up. Like it's not like okay he's done or finished. No, he transitioned. He went somewhere else. That's the word we use.
Yeah.
Let's think about it. So we don't lose anything. Everything is there. We just transition into another
different form.
A different form. Like water forms into ice. Ice form into water. It's just a different form. Energy once generated
Will never be destroyed.
never be destroyed.
Yeah.
It will always change the form. And we are energy.
Yeah.
We're just changing the form.
And we don't actually go up. We are right here. Everything is right here.
It's just the
and
word
within
we
access.
use to
Yeah.
explain it, right? Yeah.
I've always had a great curiosity about near-death experiences and what people who have died of cardiac arrest or brain temporarily damaged, or they're given the doctors say they're clinically dead, but they go somewhere and then they're revived, right? They come back, and they all come back saying there's absolutely nothing to fear. When we transition, it's everything we can imagine and more. It's everything we have here and more. That we are actually, and they realize how limited we are in these bodies.
Yeah.
And we come here with the choice to experience that with which we are not. So we come here and we experience fear. On the other side, there is no fear. It's a universe of contrast and polarity. We come here to experience feelings of isolation or loneliness. That does not exist on the other side. We are all connected. We're all always loved and together. We come here to experience suffering, pain. On the other side, that does not exist. We are whole, we are complete, we are in bliss on the other side. So, I think almost the idea of, we come here to experience that which we are not. Maybe we're bored. Maybe we want for some time to experience something just for the excitement of it. So even the pain here is something we chose to do, to experience.
Does that really explain then Krishna, who fights with a lot of things, like he does not die, but one guy puts an arrow to his feet, he dies. Yogananda just says, okay, I'm leaving, just leaves in front of a lot of people. Jesus dies, comes back, resurrected after 3 days, right? So does that explain that it is the willpower that is coming back? It's like they are not going. Is that some miracles that are happening? Like, do we have to see those kind of miracles to believe what we're saying?
Miracles are happening everywhere, every time, all the time. It's not like it happens right. This is already a miracle.
Miracles are the norm.
It's happening everywhere all the time. If we really pay attention, if we really think about it.
Yeah.
And those people you're giving example of, one thing what Krishna says to Arjun is, he says, what you see me is this physical body standing in front of you is not who I am. I came in this form, in this image, looking like Krishna, that you think it's a Krishna, is to tell you something.
And not to frighten you, right?
I can be anywhere, anytime. I represent God. Or I am the God, but I represent God. But I came here to talk to you so that you understand. But what you see is not me. And that really triggered me. That really made, that's absolutely makes sense. He can be anywhere at any time simultaneously.
Yeah.
So that's what awareness and consciousness is, to connect what I previously said. And the destruction, wish to die, not wish to die, it's all like what Kimberley says. It's the part of the plan. It's the polarity. It's yin and yang. Everything exists simultaneously everywhere all the time. It's just we choose to do this or not, or we choose to tap into that energy or into that dimension or not. That's only the differences.
And I've been always wanted to read this book. This Ego is Enemy, but it was so expensive. It was a little book, but it was so expensive. I was like, okay, I'll read it. I was looking at Facebook, but a lot of people say, maybe read that book. They recommend me that maybe I have ego or something. And also there's a concept called spiritual ego, where you feel like I know things. This is how you supposed
or
to
spiritual
do.
bypassing.
Yeah. So you're wrong. So. What do you think about that? What's spiritual ego or spiritual bypassing, if people don't know what is it?
I personally have experienced that, spiritual ego.
Yeah.
And I was able to recognize it. And I met very few people that have experienced it. And I explained to them what spiritual ego is. And they were like, wow, I felt that. So for example, last year I met an individual who had a Western person who has traveled the world, who has been to India, who has been to ashrams, who has followed specific guru and his teachings, practiced meditation, mindfulness and everything. And then for him, what he felt is, this is everything I have ever wanted to know. I knew the most important thing of my life, that meditation and what this guru says and what this teaching is, this religion, this section of the spirituality is the ultimate truth, ultimate reality. Why are you not getting it? Why don't you listen to him? Why are you not listening? Oh my God, can you believe it? What's happening to you? That's what happening to me. It's I know, that's the most important truth of the existence. Feels like that, and other people don't pay it, and it becomes frustrating. Why are you not getting it? That's what I feel like spiritual ego is. We go through this, but how? That's what it feels like, right? When you know something, when you feel like that, but it's just a small part of it. and it narrows down your awareness, and that becomes that's why it's ego. It narrows down.
When you think you've got it all figured
got
out.
it all. It's not. It's like you got just the tip of iceberg. It's like it's vast. You don't get to understand everything. You don't get to realize that. The more you understand, the more there is to understand. And where does it end? It's like, oh yeah, I don't get to understand everything. I have to accept that I don't understand everything. Like who became knowledgeous or most brilliant, smart person in the world is who realizes that he knows nothing.
No.
That realization is the most knowing that you don't know anything.
Oh. Yeah.
So spiritual ego is something like that. You have to realize that you don't understand everything, and you have to be in peace with that.
Ego is necessary in this 3D realm. So
Yeah.
we need ego to experience the world that we chose to come to experience. Like we need these labels, this I am this and I am that, and you are that and you are this, in order to experience this world of contrasts. We need ego. So it's not a bad thing. Ego is our friend, but what happens is you can come to realize, become self-aware of your ego and when it's calling the shots. And you can be that voice, that soul above the ego that says, oh, okay, I recognize you. Like treat the ego almost like a child, you know. I see that in this instance, you're needing this recognition to feel safe, to feel good. Okay, you know, you can have it. Here it is. You know, you come to learn to understand what these labels and what these pursuits mean to your ego, and when the ego is not given these things, that it can result in, you know, anxiety and misalignment, in your life.
I have a perfect example.
Yeah.
I was watching the Premananda Maharaj video, right? So he was doing like this, and then some guest is saying, Maharaj, everyone calls me egoistic, you know, I'm mean, but I know I'm not I'm not egoistic, I'm not mean, I'm very nice to everyone. And the Maharaj says, that is ego. Whatever you said is ego. But is it easy? Because ego becomes our kind of like we believe in it, like we get proud of it. Sometimes like I've read a lot of books now, you know, you don't know anything. If I see superstition, something like, oh, they are following superstition, I have read the thing, you know, and it becomes like belief. Like I feel like, yeah, I'm right, right? So how do we go in that sense where like I can move away from that ego and saying, oh, that was the ego speaking? It's not easy.
It is not easy.
It often comes through challenge and crisis and trauma. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of us learn it. In my instance, like I had to drop all ego, all of what I thought my world was and who I was. I had to like get rid of it all at once when given diagnosis or thinking maybe my time is ending, you know. And that was a time, just an example for how it happened for me, as I was able to go within and say, okay, what is true and what is me?
Yeah.
If I'm not all of this external noise, then what and who am I? And this is what prompted me to get more in tune with myself,
All
the
right.
inner self. So that's one way that it can happen. Perhaps through spiritual pursuit as well, you can come to learn the difference and hear the difference between your egoic mind and your true self.
Yeah, just to add into that, basically you just ask question to yourself. Why are you doing what you're doing? And what does that mean to you? And how does that makes you feel? Just the entire reasoning behind it, right? Like we try to do things, we try to look certain way, we try to do certain career, we try to get into certain thing. Why am I doing it, and what does it mean to me? How does that make you feel deeply inside? Detaching yourself with everything external, friends, family, media, state, belief, everything, just drop that. And then what does that mean for you personally in depth? Then it helps you, okay, this was because of other people's belief, I think certain way, okay, that's an ego. I really feel good doing this, or realizing this and understanding this deep down into my soul level. Then okay, that's truly me, that's not ego. It helps you like differentiate.
Interesting, and I'm like kind of stuck on that part. Sometimes it may be from
it
that
can be difficult.
difficult scenario, like you have to have that traumatic event to realize, right? And if not, then we're like boasting. Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you suggest, like, if someone's talking spirituality to other people, what are some of the basic way to talk to someone so that we're not offending them, we're not disengaging them?
A lot of time we are guided by external force, social belief system, what we are told what we're supposed to be, what we are told what's good, what's success, what's not. Like everything is framed and we are put into certain category and boxes, right?
Yeah.
If we try to shred that off and then really go inside yourself and ask your heart and get some answer, that should become easier. Like to realize that those things doesn't really resonate with me. Those things I'm focusing because of somebody told me to do it, or my parents told me, or society expect this from me, and then the ego develops from there, right? And if we try to center towards yourself for everything we try to do in our life, we get a lot of I personally get that for myself. Like, why am I doing this? What does it mean to me? And what's the significance of it? And then that gives a lot of answers. And then I realize a lot of things we do come from external belief in other people's ideas, not our own heart and soul. Even talking to other people, like what are we really trying to do? Say I meet with you and I want to impose my belief on you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Sudesh, like I meditate, I do yoga, let's do it. Like, why am I doing it? What's the intention behind it? Am I trying to tell that I know things, or I'm trying to help you? I want you to raise your vibration and I want you to be more aware. Where is that coming from? Like, it's really important to ask this question to yourself.
Yeah.
And meeting people where they're at. So that's looking at what their current beliefs are and coming to understand those and realizing that we can help them through their own value system and belief system to come to know, let's say, God or spirituality. That there, like we've talked about, there are so many, let's say, limitless routes to discover this truth of our existence. So just one way of doing things is we come to realize that there's no one way of doing things. Every person is individual and will come to their own realizations through their own ways.
Yeah.
So just being aware of this too.
Something just came into my mind, just relating to something we just previously talked about ego.
Yeah.
For me personally, I feel like the entire reason, the whole reason we as a human being came out of the awareness and consciousness as a manifestation of this 3D human being, as a person who has eyes, mouth, and we can talk and we can express, is to know who you are, where you came from, and where you're going. Just to find out these three answers. And there's nothing else matter. That's how I personally feel.
Yeah.
But I have to keep my feeling, that understanding to myself, because I cannot expose it to other people blatantly, like, hey, like, why are you not trying to know? Because different people have different belief. They have different focus. So I have to be content where my focus is on those three things. Also respect other people's focus about what they want to do with their life. Right? That we have to have that kind of awareness and understanding for other people. Then only we can actually talk to them.
Yeah.
And the more you know self, the more you are able to drop ego, because you realize that all of us, no one is higher than another. Honestly, we are all equal from the soul level. And we all just came here to choose different paths, different vibrations, just for the hell of it. You know?
Yeah. So different people have different ways of doing it. And also, if we are questioning those things, who we are, where we come from, where we're going, different ways of approaching it, right? So when I talk to that singer who does devotional singing, singing is for her that thing. Like singing does
Singing
everything.
is devotion. Singing is the, like, that's all she came here for. Like, that's what resonates her, right? Like, that's everything for her.
Yeah, and that's her path. And some people is meditation. Some people on rituals, where the monks are also following tantric rituals. And if we look at it, it's like different ways of doing it. what other ways that you have find in your own life, like what other ways we can, dive deep into those questions other than what I have mentioned?
First of all, realizing that you have bodily responsibility when you come to this earth to learn everything, what is love, what is hate, what is life, what is death, what is pain, every kind of emotion, we are supposed to experience it. That's why we have this physical body that we feel pain and pleasure and sensation, sees and everything.
Yeah.
Let's clear that basic, right? And after that, realizing that we came here to experience, and you can experience that in many different ways. Some people will realize in a small, let's say in a small accident. Some people have to realize that with a huge accidents. Right? But the realization you're trying to do is the same thing.
I feel like everyday things that we can do are literally whatever brings us joy. Do you like gardening?
Yes.
Do you like fixing things?
Yeah. So okay, how can we express our But one thing I have to share this is, you will find the most aware spiritual people not in temples, not in churches, in everyday life, doing everyday basic things, selling a cup of tea, making momos, doing some painting and carpentry. Those people would be the most spiritual, aware and in touch with God and their soul. Most of the time that's the case. People think to be spiritual, to be close to God or divine, you have to wear certain color of clothes, you have to put certain
labels.
attires and labels wearing. None of those is true.
There could be an extremely spiritual and self-aware atheist, and I know one.
Wow.
Yeah. You can appear like as atheist as possible. You will say by words that you don't believe in everything, no gods, but you will be, or you could be, the most spiritual person that exists. So it doesn't matter. It's all about your intention, your inside, and what you are in tune with.
And if you find yourself engaged in something and you lose track of time and space, like because you're so involved, you're in the zone, right? Hey, that's what you came here to experience. Do more of that.
It's hard to surrender, right? So sometimes we try too hard to even the practices that we do, we try so hard. And there's a famous story where Buddha was walking, and the one monk was meditating, like stay trying to meditate, trying really hard. And then he walked past by and he saw another monk meditating, but he was like sleeping. Right? And then disciples said, wow, this guy is just sleeping. He's not going to get enlightened. Next day, the sleeping guy got enlightened. Buddha said, he's going to get enlightened. How come? Because he's just surrendering. He's being there. Rather than he's trying so hard. Oh, my posture has to be straight. I have to do certain things, right? So with that example of story, I'm also trying to ask you is there something that I can do to let go so that I'm also not trying too hard, like okay, I have to have this perfect, I need to have these materials to support me?
Like I said previously as well, everything we do externally, they are tools. They can help, but when it comes down to truth and reality, all is in inner, right? How you incorporate your inner self.
Also, the way to look at it is actually not that you have to learn this or you have to do that. It's to actually look at what can I let go of? What can I release? What can I let go of? It's not learning more. It's actually de-learning, unlearning. You need to get rid of all the noise. So that's one thing I've learned myself is, yes, I also believed, okay, there's a certain position, for example, when you meditate that you have to sit in, there's a certain way you have to breathe, there's a certain chant you have to chant. Like, no, there's actually nothing in particular that you have to do. And you can't be telling yourself that you have to do or else you won't achieve what you actually want to achieve. It's letting go. It's releasing and unlearning.
How do I get rid of ego? Meditate. How do I be a better person? Meditate. How do I talk to God? Meditate. Everything falls in meditation, right? He just says meditation. Last time you gave some tips on meditation, but what are some of the ways that a beginner can start into meditation that can help?
First of all, we have to understand what meditation is.
Let's think outside of the box here. About what meditation is.
People think meditation is setting up certain music, sitting in a quiet corner, and then sitting in a certain position, and then you force yourself to sing certain things, and that's the image, which is not bad and which is not wrong. That was a meditation. Meditation comes from the word dhyan, right? Dhyana, right? And what does that mean in translation? Is pay attention. And then now, what are we paying attention to? Another questions. Okay, pay attention to what? To yourself. What's your thought? What's your imagination? What's where your thought process brings you? And then you don't have to, all those things, once again, they're not wrong, they're not bad. They help you. Set a tone, set a music, listen to something, watch it something, candlelight, all of that to make you pay attention. Pay attention to what? To your inner self. Because we forget our inner self. We forget that we call it God, we call it divine self, resides within us. We forget that. Everyone has said it. Jesus has said it. Like everybody has said it, right? Jesus said you become me. You don't have to be me. You can be better than me.
You can even do greater than
me, right?
what
it's
I
like
do.
The divine self lives within you. You have to look into us, ourselves, within inside. And like you said, there is no one way. There is no one best way. Just to relax and calm down and then pay attention to your inner self. Try to detach yourself from all the external noises. Whatever helps you do that. You could be doing so many things. For me personally, sitting down helps.
Okay.
Listening to certain things helps. Following some chants helps. And how does that help? Is it helps you detach from external noise, right? It makes you focus onto something which is nothing, right? What we are supposed to do in meditation is not think about anything. And then when we start thinking about not thinking about anything, that's when we start thinking about everything again, right? So why something we need to focus on helps is like we need to focus on one thing so we don't focus on everything. Right? So that's why those triggers are helpful. Like close your eyes and pay attention into candlelight. So your brain is designed to pay attention and think about something anyway. So once you start, you're not supposed to think about anything, then you start thinking about everything. So you need actually to focus on something, center, so that you detach from other things. That's why we need something to focus on.
And coming back to people's belief, they might believe that meditation means shutting off the mind, but that's incorrect. The mind never shuts off. So it's not a matter of needing to shut off. It's because the more we resist something, the more it will come, right? Like the monkey mind. Don't think of a monkey, and then that's all you can think of, right? It's just like he said, yes, it's helpful to try to position the mind onto something. So for me personally, I would close my eyes and I would imagine a light in the center of my forehead, and I would just focus there. And when my thoughts drift off somewhere else, I can just oh, okay, and then fine, and then bring it back, right? Bring it back. And this does get easier in time to bring yourself back to that singular focus. But and then not to be self-compassionate and to be self-patient, when your thoughts do go off, that's totally okay. And over time, you will be able to just observe them and watch them come and go more, and then you'll be able kind of to see them in a slower way. Keep coming back to focus.
And practice. And we think, okay, I practice this like 5 days. I practice this. How did we learn to speak? How did we learn to walk? How many years did it take for you to write and be able to read and interpret things?
Took a long
Takes time, right? Same thing. We have been programmed and we've been practicing just focus on external all the time. It takes time. It takes practice.
And in the beginning, I find it helps to have like a focus, like I want to experience love today. So I focus for just something that I've done personally is I'll focus on that center light in my forehead, close my eyes. I can be sitting on a couch. I don't even have to be, on a pillow on the floor. And then I'll just think of love. What is love? I want to experience love. I want to feel love. Like you can focus on something like this too. Or once you become a seasoned meditator, you can go in without any intention, and it'll just happen for you as it's supposed to. And I like you have both touched upon, meditation can be anything in your everyday life. I meditate while I'm doing the dishes. I meditate while I'm going for a walk.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And the other person who said the same thing was Thai, the Thich
Nhat.
Nhat.
Yeah.
He said the same like, I meditate when I'm making tea.
Yeah.
Oh, this hot water was once a cloud.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then and I used to think, okay, for me to meditate while making tea, I have to be in his level, you know, like right. So what do you think? Do we have to be like really experienced?
Actually, no.
Oh.
Actually, no. I think you don't have to. Once again, I want to go back to the word meditation. Then paying attention to something. Without being interfered by an external. Like, that's the most important part. You're doing something, you're cooking, and then you're thinking about something else. That's what is the problem. Like, think about cooking. Think about how you chop your vegetables. Think about where it came from. Think about how you're going to make it, how it's going to go into your body, and how is that going to help. Like, paying more and more detail, small detail, paying attention to something you're doing. That's what actually is the meditation. Like,
living consciously.
Living consciously. Like, it could be difficult to do, like, without practice, but if you start paying detail attention to those small, tiny things, it really helps.
Makes sense. Well, I feel like we can talk for whole day, and the topics are not ending.
An example of that is like what we were just talking about. Same things relates to it. Like if something feels like that, it resonates so much how I feel, and then
it makes you excited.
And you can talk about things.
Follow that.
Something you should follow, right?
Yeah.
Something you should keep doing.
Wow. Yeah. So.
And I just finished my education. I'm a psychotherapist, and I want to talk to you more about creating our own reality through our belief systems, and I want to talk about synchronicities and signs from source.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
this is topics of conversation. I want
For sure. We'll schedule something.
All right.
Because this episode is going longer.
Yep.
And but for sure, let's talk about that. And when I'm talking to other guests, like I'm thinking of the next question, right? Or like, how's my reaction? Is the camera off or not? Like this time, like I don't even realize if camera went out, right?
Natural.
So
let it be like that.
Yeah.
Natural flow of life. Natural flow.
It's a sign we're pursuing the right things.
Yeah. I loved it. How was your experience coming back and coming first time?
For me, it was pretty natural. Like I said, there is a little bit of a feeling that we've been recorded. We're trying to be your best, trying to say that actually doesn't help. But mostly natural.
And for me, it was a complete surprise to be on camera today. I just thought I was coming to watch another interview between the two of you. So it was a pleasant surprise, and the universe is constantly giving me these beautiful surprises. So I just appreciate it when it happens, and I feel so grateful today to be talking with both of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and what you shared, your experience. And I feel I'm connecting to that. So we'll have more conversation like this, and I've already got a lot of feedback from a lot of people. So thank you again.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Done.
And
he creates his own universe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he manifests his own universe. Like.
And the truth is, all of us are doing that. Whether we realize it or not.
Usually I look up something, and so today I also didn't look up a thing. Absolutely nothing. Like even on the way.
And I'm glad I didn't know. Because
on the way,
I'd be more nervous.
On the way, we were talking about so many other things, what to do in the Mars break and stuff. We didn't even contemplate our thought into spirituality or talk anything of the topic we're talking about. It's like absolute I like that.